Hi everyone, this is Sunette, and in this video I would like to touch on the topic of being bullied. And this, I'm not going to focus so much on the relationship of bullying to children, in schools. I'm actually going to discuss this dimension with the adults, the grown-ups, and in terms of showing you how it is that bullying is not something you actually grow out of. And this is in relation to whether you were bullied at school or you were the bully or you were someone who just observed it. There are dimensions of this word still existing within us, even after and way beyond the schooling years or educational years. Let's have a look. Using myself as an example, it's interesting. In school, I was bullied, but I also internalized that bullying into myself, where, based on what other kids would say and do, I would then internalize that emotional experience and think, okay, there is something wrong with me. I must change or must do this way and that way. And what I eventually tried to save myself by trying to belong to the in group, not realizing that the in group were also the source of the bullying and, doing things like sitting around in a circle and they'd invite me. Okay. Now I'd be sitting alone having lunch and they'd invite me, and the leader of this little group would say, okay, today she feels like sending someone out of the group. And then obviously I'd be the one who would be picked, and then everyone would laugh. And then she'd say, I'm sorry, but you wanted to join this group and I just felt like, getting someone out of here at the same time. So go. And, as heartbreaking as that was, it was also always internalizing me into, okay, what could I have done better? Did I do something wrong? Or, am I different? And I always felt different. Maybe not so much from what they had said or done, but also just within myself. Different in terms of I like more having few friends than being part of a group per se. So I was quite comfortable eventually being alone, but it also wasn't nice because of what everyone else would say and do and whisper. And eventually, though, I had two really great friends who I used to do ballet with. And yeah, we had our ups and downs, but, we were more constant, the three of us. And so eventually later on in the schooling years, that got a bit better. But it still carried on into high school, though, where in high school, I started becoming more angry, if you will, toward myself and others. High school, I also changed schools. And I was really uprooted in change of environment, in change that happened in my family. So there were so many changes that were happening at once. And I didn't know who I was, where I was, I didn't know my place, my space. Everything was just inside of me chaos. And this was me at 14. So, with coming from that history of being bullied, and everything that happened, I got a mixture of just anger inside of me. And then I started becoming the bully as well, toward myself, toward others. I started participating in dimensions of gossip. I started wanting to become the very people who bullied me, thinking that that's maybe I've got to survive. And I really became this deceptive, lying, not very nice person in school. I did maintain an innocence, a sweetness with people, but I just, I really transformed into someone I did not like. And I think it was always also a coping mechanism, so many things. But, there's so much that happens during your teenager years. It's like your emotions is all over the place. your whole life can sometimes fall apart. Then it's school itself, which is a nightmare, and the people within it. So it was like I was wanting to pull my hair out of my head and go, oh my God, who the fuck am I? Why am I here? What am I doing? So then after that, it was just this whole relationship with bullying started rearing its head in so many ways. So bullying was a word that I also walked even in my adult years, asking myself, where was the bullying that I was exposed to and how I changed myself in relation to it? How did it affect how I communicate with people, how I create relationships with people, who I intrinsically am within myself? So I first started working on dimensions within me because I had to deal with massive self-judgment issues, shyness, insecurity, God, and that also came through in how I became so dependent on relationships and things like that, to complete me, to fulfill me. So that's like just a bit of a thread of a history of so many things. But, we sometimes wonder with kids why and how it is that bullying also does come through. And, I looked at, even in my life, looking back, if I one day had kids and they were the bullies or being bullied, what would I do? Because I was always told, when I told grown-ups, that I'm being bullied, just don't listen, just walk away, find other friends, tell the teachers, things like that. But, that never helped me. And I understand that there are many support dimensions in this world, but I could never have told my kids that I would be telling them if I didn't understand bullying myself as how I do it within me, towards others, and also how I process being bullied by myself and by others. So what I would tell my kids, and I wouldn't even tell them, I think I would also from the get-go, even before they are bullied, teach them about it, let them understand it, show them videos, show them examples of what they could possibly face in life, not only by others, but also by their own mind. Let them understand thoughts, emotions, the things that can come up inside of ourselves, what others can do. Because there are so many, as I've said, dimensions to bullying, but I think if us adults or parents, even teachers, understand the dimensions of bullying just a bit deeper in who we are as a person in relation to it, we can create more preventative measures for it. And here, just sharing some basics. I'll continue with this in more detail in videos to come, but basics of it, I would ask my child when they are being bullied, for example. Okay, if they then accepted that, let's say they're being bullied about their ears or appearance, I'd ask them, okay, but who are you in relation to your body? Do you accept it? Do you love yourself? And I would find ways to explain and show what self-acceptance and self-love is. That no matter what another says to you or does to you, it shouldn't fundamentally change who you are. And maybe to understand that whatever the child is going through, it's not personal to you. The bullying might be coming out to you, but it's not about you. Show something more in relation to that dimension. Maybe then for the bully, or, have a look at how we can still open it up in some ways. Maybe this video will inspire some people to have a look at something in relation to all of this. But, or if my child is the bully, I would ask, how are they hurting themselves inside? Or how do they feel that they're being hurt, that they need to hurt others? What are they actually doing? Bring more that awareness of, what bullying can do to the value of a person. Teach them more to see the beauty in each person, in each kid. See the best. why are we destroying the bad that we are seeing and making it even worse instead of uplifting one another in the beauty we often always miss? You know, we can start teaching kids more principles and values of relationships between one another. You know, start introducing more in school things like kids standing around in circles and sharing more about who they are. You know, what words describe them. And kids start getting to know who one another is on that level. And stop making already from childhood the issue about what we look like, what our appearance is, how we behave, and things like that. Because children are definitely very aware, more so than we give them credit for. And these type of principles and values taught from a young age can be something extraordinary in a lifetime. All right, everyone, thank you very much, and I'll see you in videos to come.